Our panel is specifically to help people here at Shop Talk learn more about how they can increase their visibility on all of these different AI engines. We have amazing data that this year alone, 64% of Americans will search for a product using AI. Among 18 to 24-year-olds, that number increases to 84%. Wow. So adoption is skyrocketing.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of the Ad Podcast. We are here chatting with Leslie Ann Hall, who's the founder and CEO of Ice Media, a e-commerce agency focused on the beauty and wellness space. Leslie, thanks so much for coming on.
I am thrilled to be here with you today, Dylan. Thank you for having me.
Of course. So we just met a few minutes ago over there at lunch, and Leslie was telling me about an amazing workshop she ran this morning about talking to retailers, especially beauty brands, on how to show up and rank for AEO and GEO. And we got a little bit of knowledge about how GEO started, or at least the people that founded the name. So Leslie, tell me about your panel and how did it go?
Yeah, absolutely. It was phenomenal. We got such an amazing turnout, and a lot more people than we thought. So I think that topic is really growing. Our panel is specifically to help people here at Shop Talk learn more about how they can increase their visibility on all of these different AI engines. We have amazing data that this year alone, 64% of Americans will search for a product using AI. Among 18 to 24-year-olds, that number increases to 84%. Wow. So adoption is skyrocketing. My panel and talk that I gave was really about the specific strategies and tactics that brands can use to help increase their visibility, both for consumers and for machines to get their rankings up.
Yeah, it's crazy. You almost have to optimize for the bots now versus the humans, or at
That's
least
a big part of
equally,
it.
right?
That's a big part of it.
We were talking a little bit at the table about this idea that you have to optimize for tokenization, right? So these bots, they basically work off of currency by tokens. And the more tokens your website costs to scan and to figure out, the less likely it is going to be ranked in AEO because it costs more money.
Absolutely.
And it costs more resources.
One of the things that we really help brands understand is how to prioritize. A lot of the brands we work with really want to start with their entire product portfolio. And what we advise them on is to be very intentional around what are the products or services that they believe are truly unique or differentiated. They could think about all of the different types of attributes, whether it's ingredients, formulation, comfort, quality, fit, fabrication. There's so many different ones, but really thinking about these hero products and services and starting with maybe a few. And then that way they can really prioritize how they want to show up for those and then certainly expand over time.
Yeah, that's smart. It's kind of like the old days of SEO, even all over again, because you didn't want to go try and rank for something generic. Like you weren't going to beat L'Oreal with like beauty or makeup or skincare. But if you had something that was very specific to a very specific type of use case, a specific type of application, maybe a specific skin tone or skin condition, maybe, or a way to do a particular type of beauty routine, that was something that maybe you had a chance. Is it kind of the same from AEO as they need to be kind of start with those things that you have a chance of winning at?
In some ways, it's similar. In some ways, it's different. I would say the biggest opportunity for GEO that I think oftentimes we don't see in SEO is the democratization. And I know that's a word that's sometimes so overused, but we absolutely are seeing those emerging brands, disruptor brands, challenger brands really have an opportunity in the AI landscape where, to your point, in SEO, because they don't have those legacy signals, because maybe they haven't had a URL for 20 years, because maybe they can't outbid some of the biggest brands in the world, it's really tough for them to get those first page rankings. In the GEO world, it's entirely different where, yes, they do want to be more unique and differentiated, but absolutely, because the AI systems are looking at fresh and dynamic content, the recency and newness of the content can really help those newer brands compete with some of the biggest brands in the world.
I love it. And then there's also this dynamic now of like the founder-led brand, right? So,
Sure.
uh,
Especially in the beauty
right,
category.
exactly. It's like
So
you gotta
many.
you gotta like basically like live the brand. The brand in some ways has to be your lifestyle. You know, you have to look like somebody that people want to emulate or aspire to, because if you are the founder and you're pitching this product, you best be using it, and I best be looking like you when I start to use it, or at least that's the idea, right? So
Aspirational.
aspirational,
Sure.
exactly. But then there's also this element of like recency and the ability to crank out lots of social media content and vertical videos and do
Absolutely.
podcasts, and the idea that Gemini over indexes on YouTube Shorts as a
Sure.
signal. So how important is it for beauty brand founders to really, you know, think twice, or at least go into it understanding that they are going to need to be maybe more public facing than beauty founders 5 or 10 years ago?
Yeah, it's a really great question. And I would say, even in beauty and well beyond, right? It's really a
Everywhere.
category agnostic idea. So when you talk about AI rankings, there really isn't a silver bullet. Like I said earlier, it's both about optimizing for humans and optimizing for machines. When you think about that diverse ecosystem, so optimizing your website, but then thinking about all of those other sources, certainly when you think about those UGC and social platforms, we'll call it, YouTube and Reddit oftentimes are ranking top for any website across every category. When it comes to a specific category like beauty, you're going to want to do what we call niching down. So thinking about the vertical publishers that are really dominant with authority in your category. So for beauty, that might look like publishers like Allure or Birdie. In the fashion category, that might be a website like What Wear. We oftentimes cross category think about websites like The Strategist or Wirecutter that are really known for those best of lists or product rankings that can really help your brand gain authority. But you should think about, what are the authorities in my category that both those AI systems but also consumers will use.
I love that. And I think you hit on another idea, which is I've heard from a lot of PR firms, their phones are ringing off the hook again. Like there was a famous advertising executive, I won't say who it was, but he recently had a big headline a couple of years ago where he said, PR is dead. But it feels like now PR is having a very important movement again. Probably never really went away, but more important than ever. And I think you alluded to it because, you know, these traditional sources that people trust, especially publishers that are B2B to C, maybe they have an authority within the trade ecosystem, but also consumers. They're trusted sources. And, you know, if you have an editor or a PR person who can get you a placement in a publisher like that, that's going to do a big job of helping brand as well.
Absolutely. And I love that you brought that up. One of the things we talked about in my discussion this morning was the idea of the PR renaissance, where we're seeing the role that PR is playing is more important than ever, certainly more important than in the last decade. Even on my panel this morning, we had Lauren Price, who's the vice president of marketing communications at the fashion brand Cause. And she was talking about how there's this incredible opportunity for the legacy digital and commerce team to collaborate with their PR partners in ways that they've never had an opportunity to before, because obviously there's a benefit to PR, but now it's really working double duty
It's a little bit more
to
traffic.
bolster their AI range. Absolutely.
That's awesome. What do you think about kind of the rise of like independent journalists and beauty? Like it's almost like if you think about a beauty creator, some ways they're both, right? They're like reviewing products the same way a traditional editor would. But there's always been this kind of like thought of like, oh well, you know, for Allure or Cosmo or, you know, one of those publications, my only responsibility is to send them a product. For these beauty influencers, I have to do the same thing, but the expectation is to pay them. Why do you think there's a delineation between like traditional beauty press is not pay to play or you have to do like an advertorial, but then in influencer marketing, it's not necessarily the requirement.
Yeah, well, I think what you're talking about is kind of the evolution of creators.
Yeah.
My company has been very early in social commerce. So we are one of the first US TikTok shop partners. And
Wow.
I think kind of writing the playbook and pioneering that platform has both taught us so much about the creator economy, but also helps us educate brands on the importance of having a multitude of different streams for how they show up and work with creators. So I think to your point, yes, there is what we'll call traditional earned media
Like
with
gifting.
those publishers, writers, editors at some of those top publications. Then there's the whole universe of affiliates, which, you can think about TikTok Shop, Shop My, Like to Know It, My Sephora storefront, which just launched in Q4 of last year. We're doing some
The famous
pilots there.
Sephora squad,
Exactly.
where they're
Sephora
using
Squad.
they're
Dylan
using their
is
peeps.
really showing me that he's got his beauty cap
Hey,
on
I've got
today.
10 and 12-year-old
Stuff.
girls and a wife.
I'm gonna get Dylan's address and send a care package.
Let's
But
go.
absolutely. So there's the affiliate world, right, where it might not be an upfront payment, but it's a percentage of the sales that they're earning. So more that commission structure. And then sure, there's micro creators that are now getting a lot more upfront fees. There's mega creators that might still be, yielding those higher payments. So I think it's really important for brands to understand that there isn't one right solution, but testing and learning across the landscape. Earned media, affiliates, and paid creators are all really important to support that ecosystem. I think the takeaway for the AI rankings is that those creators are going to again work double duty, both from a discovery and awareness perspective, and now also helping drive up those rankings for them. Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, Leslie, pleasure. If folks at home want to connect with you or the agency or follow along, or would you like to send?
Yeah, absolutely. You can connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm Leslie Ann Hall, or on Instagram, I'm also Leslie Ann Hall. It's been such an honor. Thank you, Dylan.
You too. Thanks for coming on. Cheers. Happy shop talk.